talk about one more important scenarios. So let's take it 2 minutes to understand this scenario basically. So what we have is we have an employee and manager data like employee ID and what that employee reports to the manager ID. So manager is an employee, right? So therefore there will be a the same value you would see here, right? So it has manager as this 1003, 1007 has manager as 1006, and right. Similarly, 1003, which is a manager of 1006, has a manager of 1002. So therefore, hierarchical, organization hierarchy in a particular organization, right? So this is what we have as an input, let's say. Okay, these are the level of hierarchy. So on top of it, this is 0. On top of it, let's say there are 3 manager on top of it. Let's okay, one triple zero is the topmost manager of one of the one of the tree. You can say the branch, and one four triple zero is one of the this is the topmost. Okay, triple zero. So there four triple zero doesn't have any manager. So it's a topmost in the tree. Okay. Similarly, a triple zero is the topmost. So what is required is so we have an input of these data, and the requirement is this like you know. So what we need to do is so for example, take any of the employee and go to the what we need to say is go to the topmost manager of that tree. So what is expected is you have employee ID and you need to get the topmost manager ID. I need to get it. Okay. So let's say 1006. So I need not 1006 because 106 itself is reporting to 1003. 1003 itself is reporting to 1002. 1002 is reporting to 1001, and 1001 is reporting to 1000. Now it is top. So what we need to have an output is 1007 topmost manager ID 100 1000. Okay. So if I take this kind of data, so in the manager ID field we will have only 3 people, right? 1000, 4000, and 8000 for all these employees. So what is the expectation is for all these employees? Let's say for 1007 the topmost manager is 1000. Similarly, for 33007 is also 1000, and 4008 is another manager, which is new branch, let's say. And similarly for those all these 3 employees, we will have a topmost manager ID is 8000. So this is the expectation. So how we solve it, this kind of problem? Okay, so let's think through it. So what we have is like we have a kind of hierarchy. We have an employee ID. So in one one lookup call we can get the its manager ID. Okay, but we don't know whether it is in a topmost or not. So what is the decision? How we can decide whether there is a top manager ID or not? Okay, if that employee also belongs to or also has its manager, okay, in this same data. If that is the there, then we need to go at a further level, right? We need to go to the deepest level from the topmost. We need to go to the bottom of it. Bottom, when I say bottom of it, or you can say reverse, like from the bottom of it, we need to go to the topmost. So similarly, we have to do successive lookup calls, right? Whenever we call succession, right, same kind of thing we need to do repeatedly. What we call it is a recursion in programming, right? Recursion, if you might have heard in like the data structure, or maybe while creating small program with in any programming language, we call palindrome, recursion, all those things, right? When we create the factorial n, right, factorial n, when we calculate, So we go to the we take the help of recursion because same thing is getting repeated, right? So for a factorial n, we will have this kind of series, right? N into n minus 1 into n minus 2, right? And similarly, like until 1. So the last, this one is 1. Okay. Similarly, we have to do until and unless we will have null returning from the lookup call. We would be calling the same function. So this is the recursion example in the. So it's the same actually, which happens in every other programming language. So similarly, I have implemented. I have taken the input, okay, input data, and I have taken reformat, only the reformat, and the lookup, reformat plus lookup, okay, within the okay, and then I will have the output, desired output, okay. You can also try in your GDE. So what I need to do is I have defined one function, call the top manager ID as a recursive function. So top manager ID is my recursive function. I'm passing two parameters, employee ID and its manager ID. Okay, and then here is my definition. So I'm collecting those in length prefixed string, both of these, and then for last of the for the topmost call, right, whenever I calling the last, okay, so what if I don't return anything for a lookup match, then I will just return the manager ID of this employee. Okay, if this is doesn't satisfy, then I will call the same function again with the different inputs. So I call like from employee ID and manager ID, and then I will call manager ID and its manager ID. Okay, manager ID and its manager ID. I will call. So I will similarly, okay, recursively I will call until and unless I will go to the topmost. So whenever I get topmost, I will my function will return the value. Okay, if you implement this, you will have this kind of output. You can try it out in your GD. Thank you so much.